So, hello and welcome to 2019. Yep, I got the date right. And welcome back to Strathpeffer Junction. It has been a while, and for that I can only apologise. Thank you for those of you who've stuck around the channel. I think it's been almost 3 months since my last video, which is really not what I had intended. But for those of you who have been subscribing for a while, you'll know I've got a pretty bad back. I don't go into all the details, but anyway, I had a bit of a flare-up towards the end of the autumn, and it took quite a long time for it to settle down. But anyway, I'm back now. Thank you to everybody who sent me private messages to see how I was and where I'd got to. Really appreciate it. But anyway, I'm back. So what's been going on since my last video? Okay, so while we have a quick chat about what I've been up to, I thought I would have a wee cup of coffee here, welcome in the new year. And while this is up in one hand, first thing, I'll bring in this. This was a wee Christmas present that I got from Mark over at Curtin Road Junction down in Fife. And he sent me out this little mug just before Christmas as a wee Christmas present and a few stickers and other things. So thanks very much to Mark for doing that. It was really appreciated. Completely unnecessary, but really appreciated. The stickers will go on the wee board, which we'll take a look at later on in the video. And I shall enjoy this for coffee when the Strath Junction one has run out. So we'll pop that to one side. If you haven't found Mark's channel, Curtin Road Junction, it's an excellent channel. He's been going longer than me, has got some great content, lovely collection of locos, and a really good layout that's come together. So I'll pop a wee link in the description anyway if you would like to check out Curtin Road Junction. Anyway, right, on to the next thing. Okay, right, well I was just about to rattle through what I've been up to and I completely forgot. So another year passes, I get older and my memory gets worse. But not to worry, I have notes for the conductor, which is one of my Christmas presents from Santa Claus, thank you very much. And I've made a few wee notes. So we've done the welcome, Happy New Year, check, apologies, I've apologised. Shout out, we've done that for Mark, and layout update. So that's what's next to talk about. So the last video in the layout was probably kind of like 4 months ago, something like that. And to be totally honest with you, I haven't got as much done as I'd hoped. But that's not to say that I haven't got anything done. I have made quite a lot of progress behind the scenes, mainly some little bits of kind of housekeeping and so on. So I think the best thing to do is to stop waffling on, stop blethering away, and head up to the Strathpeffer Junction layout. And I'll take you through a kind of quick walk and talk about what's been going on and what's next and imminent. So it's another year and another technological change at Strathpeffer Junction. So what I've normally done for my filming and videoing is to have over at this side a wee camera doing some close-up shots, and up there a bigger camera sort of focusing on everything I do. But I have noticed that when I'm up in the loft, things can get a wee bit shaky. And for one of my updates, probably the first one actually, I used a big motorised gimbal, a Crane 2, which I use for my DSLR camera, but it's a wee bit too bulky and weighty for using up there. So I decided on the Black Friday sale to get myself a little motorised gimbal that I can use with my smartphone. So that's what I'm going to use anyway for the layout update in today's video. And if the quality is okay, then I will probably use this more and more, certainly for handheld stuff that I'm doing, so that I'm not restricted to 2 points of videoing. So anyway, wish me luck. Hopefully it'll go okay. And if it does, we'll see more of it in future. Okay, so welcome back to Strathpeffer Junction, the layout. We're up in the loft now, and I'm just going to give you a quick kind of walk through what we've been up to over the last wee while. As I say, I've not made as much progress as I would have hoped. We've not got the bus wires in. I'd started doing a wee bit and then decided to pull them out because I changed my mind. But what we have managed to do with the help of my fabulous assistant was to get all of the holes for the bus wires drilled through all of the different parts of the framework. And my goodness, was that a long job. I totally underestimated how long that was going to take my wife to do the drilling, because I can't bend into all these tricky corners. But we've got there anyway, and I put in a whole load of extra holes anyway for everywhere that I think a cable could possibly go. We've also got all of the framework finished. The only bit that I haven't done is this section in here, and the only reason for that is I've got another couple of bits of ply that I need to get up through the door here, and if that framework was in place, it would make it really hard to do that. But anyway, other than that, all of the framing itself is done, and we'll just take the camera around here. It is a total mess up here just now. I can only apologise, but I'm literally in the middle of doing loads of stuff. So anyway, we've got this little section in here now. Now, you might remember from previous videos, what I had thought about here was, well, I didn't really know. But what I've decided to do is to have a bridge in here, just a kind of small railway bridge, the type that you see over a lot of the Highland lines. So I've dropped the framework down by sort of one thickness of framing there, and that'll allow me to have a sort of shallow river scene, a bridge in there, and then something else going on. So that is finished now as well. That's the framing in. What I'll probably do with this bit here is infill this with Kingspan insulation. Rather than plywood, just in that section there, and have the running track as a sort of raised section, a wee bit more like whatever our Junction and Exeter scrap line railway, what they've been getting up to. Anyway, so we'll just come around here. Again, nothing much has happened here. It's really, at the moment, just a work desk, but all the timber is all cut to size now, so that's all good to go. This is going to be the sort of branch line area. So the main lines will run slightly higher, the branch line will run slightly lower, and there will be a station in and around here, which will be a little bit like Achterneed Station on the Kyle line-ish, bit of artistic license. Then at this side here anyway, we've got the framing all finished there, and there will be a higher level TMD going in at this side here, but I'm not going to put that in until I've made a bit of progress lower down, just because the framework will get in the way for that. So anyway, that's the framing all complete, but there's been a few other wee things that I've done as well, sort of behind the scenes, well, not quite so behind the scenes, which I'll just quickly talk you guys through. Okay, so in my very first video, I talked about wanting to have a kind of two-level layout, and really, as things have progressed, that was never going to work out. The coombs in here are just too restrictive. So I've gone for a one-level layout, but what that also means is where I'm going to stick all the control gear. So what I decided to do was to have a number of shelves underneath the layout that all the control gear will go in. So up here we'll have decoders for the accessories like the points and so on. We'll have junction boxes for the Loconet bus, the DCC bus, that kind of stuff. And while I'm setting it all up, I can drop things in the top, but after that, it will open up like a little drawer like this, and shut again. Now, I've got a number of these. We'll just turn the camera around at strategic locations around the layout. So there is one just down there, that's a fairly big one. And then what we have over here is the Big Daddy. So this one over here is the one that we'll use for all of the main control gear. So the DCC controller, the Z21, that'll be in here. We will have all of the main Megapoint stuff will be in here, all the main Loconet stuff. And I also have a small kind of Windows tablet, which I'm going to try and sneak in somewhere over here as well. So I have a kind of dedicated computer just for the layout and for anything that I'll do up here. And the reason as well for that Windows computer is because, as well as wanting to be able to manually operate things, hence the Megapoints, and also to use the Z21, which will be down here, what I also would like to do is to have the possibility for computer control. So a wee computer here running something like Train Controller or maybe JMRI software, not decided yet. And in order to make that better, we have up on the wall here something that was on my Instagram page, but the monitor. So I have a wee cheap second-hand monitor that I got off Amazon Warehouse, I think. So that's up there on the wall, and a little arm so that it can swing in and swing out a bit. And the cable for that will run down the corner, into the corner, and then under down to the bit we've just been looking at. So that'll also allow me to hide up here and watch TV or whatever I want to do as well. So anyway, so the monitor is in place there, and hopefully on the other side here will be the layout cardboard or some other stuff. There's other wall space I can fill. Anyway, right, and there is just one last thing really that I want to update you on this layout, and that is to do with lighting. Okay, so since I first started building the layout, I've used these lights here in the attic space, and they're just, I think, a halogen light, but anyway, sort of incandescent halogen light, and that I find easier on my eyes. I quite like it like that, but it's not the best for filming because you get a different color temperature off it. It's not brilliant. So what I was keen to do was to augment the kind of normal lighting, if you like, with something a little bit better for filming, and that is where, let's just pop the camera up. These lights come in, the strip lights. Now, you might have seen these strip lights. They have been in previous videos because I put them in way at the beginning, but I haven't actually had them wired up. Now, these are daylight strip lights, and that means the color temperature tends to be the best for videos. And also they're pretty bright, so they're great for kind of, well, fiddly work or anything that needs a lot of attention. Anyway, so those strip lights are now wired in, and in order to facilitate that, what I did was, and we'll just bring the camera down here, I created a wee control panel just there, which will do all of the lighting and also power for the layout. So I'll just move down the ladder a bit and we can have a look at the control panel. Okay, so that's us just in front of the control panel here, and it's also it's located right next to the main control drawer. So what we've got on this anyway, we've got at the top here, we've got a switch and a dimmer for those kind of normal incandescent lights. So if I want, I can dim them all the way down to set some kind of mood lighting for the evening if that's what we wanted, or I can turn them all the way up. I then have a second switch here, which is for the strip lights, the fluorescent or daylight strip lights, so I can pop them on and off. And then below here I have another switch. This switch is for the layout itself. So this will switch all the power on or off to the layout in a oneer, so I can never forget to leave things on for weeks at an end or whatever. And it's got a wee red light on it, so I can tell dead easily when I'm coming back down the steps here that that has been left on. And then below that I have two USB charging points. I want to use my phones to control things like the Z21 app, so the USB charging points will enable me just to plug in the leads there and have everything charging. At the moment that's wired to come off the back of that, so if that switch there, the main switch, is off, then there'll be no power here, but I might change that. And how does it route power to the layout? Well, it comes out the back of here and into this multi-way socket here. And then the Z21 controller, all the LocoNet stuff, the computer, everything will be plugged into that socket here, so it all comes off that one. And I've worked out the current anyway, and it is enough to come off that 113 amp plug there. So just to clarify, the main power for it, it's not hardwired into the mains. That little socket there feeds down the black wire into this switch here, and this switch here comes back out to here. The lighting, however, because that is hardwired into the house lighting, goes along the conduit, out the back there, under the floor, and off into the lighting circuit. But I don't suggest you do anything to do with your mains lighting and just circuits unless you know exactly what you're doing. And anyway, just while I'm sat down here, let's just swivel the camera around to this side. I have a little, well, I've got a little switch here that goes into my home network, and I've got a TP-Link wireless access point. And the reason I've got this is that with the Z21, they send you a Wi-Fi router, but I don't need that. I don't want a second Wi-Fi network in the house. So what I've done is I have plugged this into the switch goes back to the router via telephone, and I have reserved the IP address that the Z21 needs to work on my system. But I will do videos in due course on how I'm setting up the Z21, the IP addresses and all the rest. So more fun to come for those of you who are into that kind of stuff. Anyway, right, so that's the lighting. That's the kind of layout update for where we are with everything here. And the last thing I just want to mention while I'm up here is all these boxes. You'll remember from the previous videos that all my rolling stock and locos was all spread all over the spare room, but I've now catalogued everything. It's all in these storage boxes up here out of the way. I know what's in every box and how to get to them. So they're now dust proof, but also all ready to go on the layout once there's a layout there. Okay, so that was a quick overview of everything that's been going on at Strathpeffer Junction. That's not everything that has been going on in the world of Strathpeffer Junction, however. In a previous update video, I was cataloguing all of my rolling stock, all the locos and so on. Now that has finished. It took me ages, absolutely ages, but that's finished. As you'll have seen, it's all in the storage boxes up in the loft. So that has made some space available in the room that it was all stored in previously. So what I've done is I've turned that into a sort of home office for my wife slash recording studio for these videos slash painting and electronics area for the modelling and all that kind of stuff. So it's still a bit of a work in progress, but we'll head up anyway to the studio area and you can have a wee look at what's been going on there and a few other things that I've been getting up to. Okay, so I'm just heading through to the studio and I just came across one of our cats, Flora. She's not particularly impressed with this New Year weather. She's sleeping all snug here. But anyway, the reason that I wanted to come through here was, and hopefully the camera will catch up, I'm still getting used to this this gimbal here, there we go, was that I've been allowed to pop up some railway related art on the wall in our wee sitting room here. So I managed to get the high-speed train and a wee coach as well there on the wall. But anyway, right, enough waffle, let's get up to the studio. Okay, so that is us now in the studio. This is, well, it's a work in progress, as you'll see from all the rubbish that's hanging out here. But what we've got here anyway is, this will be my kind of like soldering station, this technical station. So I've got all my desoldering, hot air blower, I've got my soldering iron, all that jazz is over there. A nice big mat. I've got my wee N-gauge set that I got just before Christmas, which is my first little foray into N-gauge. And then over the other side here, we'll just sort of pan round. I've got, just by the window here, I've got my little airbrush station and a wee sort of painting station as well there, which is again all still a work in progress, but we're getting there. And then on this side over here, this is the kind of main sort of painting area there. I've got my resin 3D printer down there too, and pre-3D printing consumables, all that kind of stuff. So this is what I am planning hopefully to have as my wee sort of modelling studio area. I'm very lucky to have a sort of spare room that we didn't really need for anything else. So that is on this side. On the other side behind where I am, that's where the computer is and everything. So that's the kind of office area that my wife can use and so on. But anyway, this is my modelling area, work in progress, but hopefully I'll be doing more videos from here in the near future rather than the dining room table. Okay, and just before I head back downstairs again for the next part of the video, I just wanted to show you the wee cabinet that I've stuck up on the wall here, which is for my small N-gauge collection. It's mainly 00 that I model, but I decided to have a wee shot at some N-gauge. So mainly, to be honest, just because I absolutely love the RTC models down here. So I bought them and then I thought, well, maybe I'll just get one or two wee thing. And I thought, oh, well, let's get a ScotRail Class 47. I thought, oh, look, here's some ScotRail Caledonian Sleeper. And anyway, you know how it starts. So it started, but I have said to myself, I'm not going to buy any more than could fit in this cupboard. Well, we'll see how we get on with that, eh? Okay, great. So that's the studio space caught up on. We've caught up on Strathpeffer Junction, the layout. There's just one or two wee things that I'd like to wrap up with. First of all is just to say, while I haven't been doing so much in the layout, I've still been doing quite a lot behind the scenes and other stuff. And one of the things that I have been doing is a few wee projects for some other people. They've sent me some locos for sound installation and that kind of stuff. But one that I particularly enjoyed actually was Alistair over at Strathpeffer Spa Railway, so my almost namesake channel. He sent me a wee kit-made model of a Sentinel steam car that used to run up and down the line between Dingwall and Strathpeffer. So I put in one of my motor adapters to it, I converted it to DCC, and sent it back down the road to him for his layout. And he's got a wee video of that, or where he's mentioning it anyway, and some work that he's done to it since. But that was a great wee project anyway, really enjoyed that. And it's kind of got the fires burning again for some of my own projects. So I've got a cheap Lima that I bought off eBay recently, which I'm going to upgrade and hopefully turn into a wee sort of weathering project, that kind of stuff. But anyway, plans, lots of plans. I'll have to write them down so I don't forget them. The other thing just mentioning there was the adapters. And I did a video back in 2018 on my 3D printed and designed adapters for Lima Ringfields. And I've done quite a lot of testing over the last 6 months with the help of a few people, but mainly a guy called Andy, way down south, the other end of the country from me, but thanks very much. So we've done our kind of beta testing and they are pretty much ready to go now. So I'm hoping to make those available by the end of January. So for those of you who've been emailing me over the last few months, they are just about ready to go. So if you'd like one of those, pop your name on the mailing list and I'll send you an email when they're released. And again, the email address, details of the mailing list in the description below. So in a number of videos in 2018, I mentioned the layout cards which I'd made for my channel. Paul over at Galgorm Hall had made for his channel, and a few other people have now got onto the bandwagon and joined in too. So let's have a quick look anyway at my board. It will go up on Strathpeffer Junction wall, but for now it is moving between temporary resting places. Okay, so we're at the board, temporary home, very temporary, kitchen table. My wife's out, so I've got the space for a few hours before she kicks me off it. Anyway, so the board has been filling up since the original video I did, which is just absolutely fabulous. I've got a variety of folk on here, a number of different channels, and I'd really love to get a few more to fill it up, and if we need to go into a bigger board, we'll get a bigger board. So anyway, if you'd like to be added to this space, please feel free to drop me an email and I'll send you my details and we can get you on here. If you would like me to send you a card for your wall or board or fridge or whatever it might be, drop me a line as well and I'll happily send one out to you. But anyway, we've gone truly international. We now have Brent from the USA who sent me one over. We've got folk from down south. We've got Paul from Northern Ireland at Galgorm Hall and Mark from Fife, the Kingdom of Fife, so a country to itself. Anyway, right, so that's the board. I'll hopefully get it up on the wall in the layout room soon and we can give each other virtual shout outs until the cows come home. Right, okay, the list. We've done the adapters, we've done the steam rail car. There's a few other things I could talk about, but I won't because as usual, this video has probably gone on quite a long time already and my New Year's resolution is absolutely make my videos a wee bit shorter if I can. So anyway, right. Thank you very much for watching this. Apologies again for the wee hiatus, but we're back. We've got lots more coming, so please do stay tuned. If you've not subscribed, you know what to do. Hit the wee button below. And if you've got any comments or suggestions, please just drop me a line and I'll try my very best to get back to every one of you who gets in touch. Right, so for now anyway, thanks very much for watching and cheerio for now. Bye-bye.